Welcome back. It's a pleasure to see you here for Game 2. Cloud9 versus Counterlogic Gaming is coming right up, so let's jump into the roster rundown. On the blue side, it is Cloud9. That means in the top lane, it is Licorice. Roaming in the jungle is Blabber. Nice mustache for Jensen there in mid lane. Sneaky at AD at the bot. And Azazel with that beautiful beard at support. Coach Reaper.
And against them on the red side, it's Counterlogic Gaming. In the top lane, it's Darshan. In the jungle, it's Rainover. Mid is Huhi. Bot is Stixay with Biofrost on support. And Coach 6 with strategic coach Goldman on stage.
I love those ARs. They're going to be sweet. Someday they're going to be moving. It'll just be creepy as well. Ooh. The last time these teams faced off, Counterlogic Gaming were in first place, while Cloud9 were in 10th. Yep. And the trajectory since couldn't be more different.
Yeah, for Cloud9, that loss versus CLG was the straw that broke the camel's back.
Yeah.
And they are now 4-1 after moving Blabber up into the jungle position and the return of Sneaky. And on the other side, CLG have been on a 5-game losing streak since that game, going so far as to slip from first place to 8th place. And both these teams are now bottom half teams in terms of standings, and they haven't even come close to securing their playoff spot. So a victory here is crucial for both these orgs' expectations.
The pressure is on for every player, but you are seeing each team's mid laners give it their all in every single match to try to get that win.
Yeah, Huhi playing the Rise yesterday played incredibly well, but him versus Jensen is a matchup in particular that we need to take a look at here, because you can see the record for these guys, the CSDs, and also the jungle proximity is something that's a little different, where Jensen, usually he got a lot of the attention, but he's playing more of a supportive style here, and he's enabling Blabber, as opposed to Huhi, he's getting a lot of attention, which is a different style for him, because he used to be, give all my pressure away, go to side lanes, but we've seen him play things like Renekton and especially in like recent weeks, the Kled 2 and the Galio. So trying to kind of, play this style where it's more Huhi focused, but it hasn't been working out for the team. Like we said, 5 games in a row is what they've lost in the last few weeks. So both these mid laners trying to come up with a top tier performance here today and see who gets the better of the two.
And I feel like Cloud9 coming into, or it's just like any players really pulling different champions out at this time is always great, because you kind of get an ace up the sleeve. They saw a 706 Zillion yesterday. You said he's playing more supportive. Also had the Lulu game against TSM in week 6 for Jensen. So these are a few other things you have to consider with Cloud9 coming in on blue side. Do you want to go up against these picks?
Yeah, well, there's all these picks that you have to consider, especially when there's so many powerful things.
Yeah,
like
that too, right?
Banning away a Zillion.
It throws in these silly things.
It's not a luxury that you really get champions like early if they're going to pick it there. But it's also a champion that I think is pretty conditional. They got the Nocturne as well, and having that with Celerity makes it so that just speeding him up gives him a lot more damage, and he just becomes this massive champion in terms of just the stat ball.
He gets closer so he can hug you more.
Yeah. Is that what he's doing to me?
The AoE hugs. Talia and Morgana banned out from Cloud9's side. Do we expect to see that Nocturne? Are they going to ban Aatrox last? What is this strategy for Counterlogic Gaming?
Or they don't ban it and they say they can play Fiora into
That's true.
Other things.
That's true. We have seen it left up even yesterday, I believe there was a few games. Aatrox, yeah. There's the oh, okay then. Yeah, there's the Aatrox as well.
That means that Kindred, Zoe on the table here.
And Kindred will be Blabber's pickup. Licorice locks that one in nice and fast, throwing the counter on to Counterlogic Gaming right away. They'll be able to double down on that timer. Looks like they lock in, and quickly that 20 seconds now to Gragas. They select it right away. And not wasting any time.
Yeah, but the Gragas is basically just to counter the Kindred. It is a flex pick to both jungle and to top, but Rainover, it's one of his better champions. But it also means that they are saying, we didn't want to secure something like a Varus Braum early on in the game. Instead, it looks like it's going to be Varus Shen, and Gragas is going to be still flexible for Counterlogic Gaming here. But these picks are going really quickly.
Yeah, I was going to say, we're flying through this right now. It's a good protection around the map for everybody. A little bit of save your life on the side of Cloud9. As well as Counterlogic Game. Cho'Gath banned out. Is seeing a little more of that on the top side.
Yeah, Cho'Gath means that potentially you're going to ban away something like Dr. Mundo 2. Get rid of those big beefball tanks. I don't think you'd pick one yourself unless you were going to ban Darius and Gnar. Seems a little bit more what you would expect.
Got that Gangplank in there still. There, nope, no you don't.
Good call, Riff.
No you don't. Gangplank taken away from Darshan quite quick there in second phase. What's the next target? Do they stay top side? They can look at mid lane and try and hit Jensen, but still has so much he can play. maybe take something out of Licorice's champion pool once more.
Yeah, Zoe's still on the table. I don't know if it'll see a second round ban here because I think both teams are saying, well, we'll go ahead and just wait to pick that. And
ooh, yeah, that's right. Licorice and Poppy.
ooh, I actually think Poppy is really powerful and kind of underrepresented in professional play right now as a top laner. I think Cho'Gath kind of came back up, and Poppy was right there with him in terms of durability. Kind of people forgot about these champions, but they're definitely ban worthy. It's up there with Dr. Mundo
Poppy's
too.
one of those champions you play it and you're like, why doesn't that happen for me? You watch these pros go crazy and you're like, nope, I fell very short on that. So we see the Gnar getting banned out. They do hit Darshan once more from the side of Cloud9. All picks from here on out. No more bans. So what are they going to have here? CLG hovering. He already got his Warwick in there. Ooh, he may be on that rise. Ooh. Are they going to leave it for last? No, they're going to pick it now.
Interesting.
They're going to counter for Darshan.
Yeah, counter for Darshan up against Licorice. Licorice has been performing well pretty much the entire split. But the Rise, this means you could pick Zoe right here for Jensen. I mean, the Orianna is something that isn't actually good into Rise. It's more like when you think back to the trifecta of Cassiopeia beats Rise, Rise beats Orianna, Orianna beats Cassio, the rock, paper, scissors of mid lane. Yeah. I think it's more of a stop to picking an Orianna, and I think he'll just go to, no, I actually think he'll go here, yeah.
Zillion Mundo? Do you like the everlasting top laner?
Yeah, you're right.
Never dies? No.
And he's super speedy.
And he's super fast with a slow cleaver. Awesome combination coming in and see if they get it to work together from the Mundo and the Zillion. We thought Mundo would be banned. Left all the way up. Kennen possibly, yes! On the other side, Darshan locks in the Kennen. Very well versed in that champion throughout his years of play. So we'll see if he can lock down the team fights. It's something CLG wants to get themselves into this game.
Well, is it a split push AD Kennen or is it an AP Kennen? Because
they do have AP mid, you're right.
Yeah.
So you could easily go AD.
They have AP from their jungle, from their mid lane, and Varus does percent HP unless you're going lethality.
Get the blight stacks.
Yeah, unless you're going lethality, then you become more physical damage focused. So I'm interested to see what Darshan does here. I actually think the physical damage Kennen build does fare better against Mundo. Blade of the Ruined King against him, just percent HP over and over and over again. And Mundo wants to buy magic resistance more than he wants to buy armor. So being able to buy something like a Spirit Visage against this team would be kind of, I would say, close to GG, because it's a ton of magic damage. So being able to itemize that way would be great. And we'll see, though, because personally, I do like the AP Kennen more. Those high moments of entering the team fights, ulting everybody. But even against this team composition, I don't know how much I trust it. The Kindred is pretty hard to get that ultimate in and kill people before the ultimate comes down.
It's interesting. We don't see many of their survive comps a lot. You have Kindred, you have Zillion, you have Mundo. Good luck getting to kill this team at 6. They have those GAs almost. Interesting, however, CLG going to go back to a few things that felt good. Huhi's Rise played great yesterday, even in their loss. He was able to put a big impact on the game at 7-3 and 8. We'll see if he can do it again today, getting around the map and play that kind of style we've been knowing him for lately, is more selfless, helping his team out.
Yep, that's kind of the old Huhi style, but right now this is a battle that's gone on for years and years. Counter Logic Gaming,
let's go.
Cloud9. Regardless of, what's going on, I know there was that TSM CLG rivalry forever that's been, one of the ones that's the forefront of the NALCS, but Cloud9 versus CLG games always deliver. Like, all the ones I can think about always have crazy endings where, don't know who's actually going to come out on top. In terms of these two teams, it was CLG who won last time, but like we said, 5-game losing streak for CLG since then, and now we find these teams in opposite trajectories. Cloud9 4-1 in their last 5, and looking up and up. But these guys are in 6th place and in 8th place right now.
So close. Any movement in the standings really starts to mix things up towards the top as they try to chase Liquid. As we set the teams up here in the line of scrimmage, remember tickets are still on sale for the finals in Oakland. Head over to lolesports.com/tickets to pick up your set so you can join us at the Oracle Arena. Do not miss that game. It's going to be good. Promise.
Hold you to that, Riv.
I hope you do. Hold me tight.
Remind me in a month. There we go.
Sweeper, no grab on the ward, looking for that extra XP for a level 2. Airy. I wonder, do you think like Airy bites you or scratches you? What do you think it does?
Ooh, I think it headbutts you.
Headbutts? So
yeah,
that's even more annoying. Hey, stop it.
It comes in so fast. this is
I
actually
think of that every time now.
Yeah, this is interesting because Darshan, like we talked about, is going to be AD. I think it's a better build against the Mundo. Not a better build in terms of overall, just like Kennen builds, but it does work in the composition. And you can see 6A is not going Comet. Reddit silver analysts are kind of getting to him, I guess, and saying, hey, this is the better build. And he's going back to lethality. So it's going to be a little more magic damage heavy. I think the Mundo is in a spot now where Licorice, he goes, okay, how much can I actually build armor versus magic resistance? Because he needs to build armor for the lane phase, but he wants to build magic resistance to deal with every single other person on the team of CLG.
I like the bit of movement here from Darshan going
Blabber.
down.
Blabber
It becomes difficult, right? Because if you start getting ganked, you're like, what do I itemize first here? What's doing the most damage? your inner jungler is like, fight this right now.
That's
even though I don't have pressure from Jensen.
Yeah, that's the kind of Kindred player I am. Is I will die for these stacks.
Unfortunate though for Blabber, he doesn't get that first one.
Yeah, but the opposite side of the map will have the Scuttle have that mark on it, so he's going to kind of cycle his jungle, try to get level 3 and end up on that side. And the question is going to be able to be on the same page as Jensen and say, all right, I need to be reinforced here. His bottom lane and his mid lane are both getting shoved in, so Blabber's kind of losing the lanes, and I don't think he'll be able to actually contest that Scuttle. So, oh wow, he's going for a level 3 gank top.
Hug left.
They think he's going to cycle back towards the bottom side. This is actually just a really good play from Blabber in terms of positioning. He's going to go after Darshan. If you get this AD Kennen behind,
that's nice.
He becomes pretty useless.
Gotta watch out for the slow. Lightning Rush is used. Is going to put a lot of damage on here. A Cleaver hits, and he may go down. A quick sidestep. It's hit. One more auto attack, and he is dead to right. The lane in the bot side is now the focus of a fight. And it's going to be a kill coming through for Stixay. Beautifully done as they activate, seeing pressure topside.
Yeah, but that was such a good gank there from Blabber in terms of timing. They expect him to cycle back down bottom side, but the idea is he's supposed to be bottom side so he can protect some play that's going to happen like this. And so he doesn't get any marks off of the Scuttle Crab. He gets the first blood, which is good, but then the counter on the bottom side from CLG gets him a counter kill there. And it blows the TP from Sneaky. And Darshan's actually going to, actually pick up some gold for himself. Gold for the road.
Feels good, especially going down just there. Great gank by Blabber and Licorice. No hard CC really for a Kennen lane. Still come up with the kill.
Yep, and they get the flash out of Darshan as well, and Licorice blows his. And then right here, Darshan is like, one more. He's trying to dodge the Cleaver, ends up taking the nullifying orb top. And then right here, it looks like Biofrost went in for a taunt onto Sneaky, and then they just finish him with the arrow. And I actually think it's good that Sneaky didn't flash there. He would have had to flash the initial taunt. And the fact that he didn't flash, a lot of people will be like, oh, you know, he didn't flash. It's like, yeah, if he flashes that arrow, he's still probably dead, and then he has no flash. So I actually think it's good that he held that one. Sometimes you just got to say, I'm dead, and accept it.
Yep. It's actually a pretty good trait to have.
Yeah.
Can really save your butt later.
I always consider, if you flash in a situation where you're already dead, kind of squirming, where you're just like, I didn't want to die, but I was going to die anyway. And you always look back on it, and it's even worse, because then you're harder to, it's hard to get back into the game after that. The flash can help you get back in by making an aggressive play.
I only ask that you do as much damage as possible before you go down.
No,
if you know you're going down,
keyboard,
just turn around and fight it.
Yeah, do the damage, because then maybe they have to back, etc.
Yeah, exactly.
Speaking of having to back, Blabber comes back to top. This means he's sacking the bottom lane still, and you can see Rainover is on that bottom side.
Slow push. They're like, yeah, we'll keep this farm right in front of the turret. That 75% mark, as I call it, just makes it so easy for Stixay. No engage for C9. They kind of rack their brain for a moment. And sometimes you get a team to step out of their comfort zone to get a play here.
Makes it really good for Biofrost. Like, this guy's Shen yesterday was fantastic. He got 3 early kills across the map. And his Shen is something that, you know, we were calling it yesterday, the River Shen, where he was just pretty much playing the roam style.
He's okay with the wet socks.
Yeah. Oh, man.
It's a troublesome thing. Some people can get by. You can. You're a stronger person for it. And that's what you see out of Bio Daddy. Blabber able to grab this bottom scuttle. Help from Jensen, but they'll clean up the vision as well. Top side has Rainover, so they can get vision of Blabber. They may get a play on. I caught that one late. Nicely done. Slow game. Everybody's okay with just kind of farming it out, especially with a bit of crowd control in the mid lane. You think Blabber would be kind of helping to push Jensen forward, but I guess that's where we saw the jungle proximity being lower in this matchup.
Yeah, where he's not really playing so much around that. Blabber's been playing to Licorice, you know, played with him a whole bunch, and we'll see if the newer guys to the Cloud9 team on the top side of the map can actually push this in. But I feel like that one gank, that might just be like a one and done, because Bombi Cinder to double Dorans is a fantastic place to be for Licorice. I feel like Licorice now has taken all of the pressure out of the matchup until Blade the Rune King comes in. And because it's not even like an early Vamp Scepter or anything for Darshan, I feel like that Blade the Rune King is pretty much never going to come in until Licorice probably has Sunfire Cape and potentially even has like a Thorn Mail or a Bramble Vest. I feel like he might go, I feel like Licorice could potentially just go Sunfire Cape into Bramble Vest. And then from there, he goes for Magic Resistance.
It becomes rough, especially for Darshan now, because you're like hitting a brick wall already.
Yeah.
Your attacks don't do much. You can see he's already trying to just sustain a bit in lane. Obviously, it's his build path, but that's not to chunk down Licorice. That's to say, hey, I need to stay and use my Lightning Rush if he ever steps forward. It becomes tough to fall behind in lane is kind of
because
unfortunate.
You're one-dimensional as this AD or attack speed cannon, the on-hit cannon. A lot of people are actually going, I think it's Rage Blade is your second item or your third item in this build. I've seen multiple different ones because it's always been kind of up in the air in solo queue when you see these cannons. And you know what the cannon's going to do. The cannon's not going to come in for team fights or anything like that.
Right.
Playing. The ultimate just barely does any damage. He's not going to wave clear incredibly well until he has maybe a Runeance Hurricane, which is optional in the builds. A lot of people go PD for the dueling potential. But so it's low wave clear. It's kind of just having like another marksman that just wants to split push the whole time. So the team fight power is actually not that high, and it's just more for the 1v1 and trying to keep a tank in the side lane or seed objectives to it. But the disengage from CLG is quite strong with having a Gragas. So if they ever get to a point where Darshan is beating Licorice in the 1v1, they can start kind of slowly chipping away at objectives in the side lane and play kind of how we've been seeing some teams that play the 4-1 split push.
Very surprised they didn't activate on Zazel there. A little too close to the turret, but level 6s to a 6-5 on the bot side is a fight in the river. Now gets a quick resurrection on the Zillion ultimate. Chrono shift up. Do they stay alive in the extra spit though? And now it's going to be Blabber possibly getting a kill. He goes down. Stopwatch still used. It follows through on the Realm Warp. And now Stixay, possible chain of corruptions. No mana there as the Hail of Arrows slows the entire team. He chooses to go for the all AoE crowd control quick. And Zazel walks back and forth doing the dance, trying to dodge anything coming through. But the 4 members don't have many resources on the side of CLG, and they cannot add more damage.
That was a fun little mechanical skirmish there.
Very interesting.
That Tri-Brush. Yeah, Biofrost, Flash, taunted over, and then he's basically having to fend for himself there. He uses the stopwatch, and then has the dodge zone perfectly at the end. But the funny part here to me was this. Jensen throws down a bomb. Rainover says, all right, here's the opportunity. Go for the root into the body slam. And by the time he can react, he can't get the double stun off. The bomb's already gone off on Rainover. Then Blabber comes in. Jensen gets knocked out. Goes, see ya, I'm out of here. All right. Says, I'm gonna use this. I'm out. I'm out. Gets away. Rainover survives. And then Biofrost and Huhi both pull their flashes there. But Huhi has no mana. Huhi's got nothing.
I like that Zazel realizes this too. He's like, wait, you guys don't have any fighting resources.
It's like, uh-oh. Biofrost, that's one where you get a little too aggressive. Darshan's going to flash right there. Are they going to dive?
Looking for the stun. No stopwatch this
Blabber
early.
scores,
The AD cannon. Blabber gets out. And so does Licorice. Another kill onto Darshan in the top.
Yeah, they didn't have the Lamb's Respite, and so he's thinking, all right, well, we're not going to go for a dive. They're not going to go for a dive. They do go for a dive. We see how the ultimate kind of works there from Darshan. It's not shredding them or anything like that. It's just a try and get a stun. Blabber plays on the outside, and then he blows his flash, which was not necessary to do there, but they do get the kill, and they are shutting this cannon down. They are destroying Darshan on the top side.
Door number 1 or door number 2? Oh, door number 2.
Here's TP.
Drinks him back. A good flavorful drink.
Wait.
Great year from Yano. Darshan just teleports back in, and it's a good thing he did because Rainover almost went down. Obviously, it was a 2v1 play, but Licorice really able to put out the damage to start. Zazel and Biofrost doing a little bit of supportal wars.
It's been a really kind of decisive game here from Rainover, where as soon as he saw that he could go in on Jensen, he's like, all right, buy some flash. And then in that top side, it's like as soon as he saw the opportunity, he was like, I'm ulting Licorice back in. If they're TPing, then we're going to be able to get him. So it's really, so far, well played. And you see he's gone for a ganking-centric early game build here for Gragas. We see the Cinder Hulk sometimes, but he's got the Blue Smite and he's got the Runic Echoes. So he's going for just early AP damage and trying to make it so that he can blow people up and actually give a lot of damage to these fights. Gonna win 2v2s, I would say. Be able to contest when the Kindred shows up.
Well, they're definitely spiking well. Huhi finishing his rod.
The River Shen. Watch as he guards his territory. Beautiful, majestic.
Squish, 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 squish.
Watch as it feasts on honeycrew.
As he eats the gummy bears.
Io
Oh, mounting dread. Slows Huhi.
Wow.
Jensen almost on the double stun. Blabber has just his tanking turret tunic on today, man. He is eating shots left and right.
I want to see like damage taken from turret, because I'm pretty sure that Blabber is winning right now.
And staying alive. Just about a 600 gold lead for CLG. This vision being placed isn't so much protected on the pink ward side, but you can see the other wards that Cloud9 is getting to stay are just past the mid lane. We'll catch Huhi on a bit of his roam. 122, 120 really in that mid lane for CS, pretty even. 110 in the top, and about a 16 CS lead for Stixay in the bot. Grabbed when they took down Sneaky in that first play when they were taking down Darshan. So good trades all around the map to keep the game even so far.
And we definitely have to talk about Stixay because his performances, we talk about 5 losses here for Counterlogic Gaming, but in the losses, his, like, Varus, 1-1 and 3 in terms of score. Hold on, Rain over, looking for Blabber.
Oh,
wow!
A lot of big damage to start things off. The front end nuke makes Blabber use the ult quickly. And just like a Lee Sin pick, the Gragas cast knocking them out of the Lamb's Respite, still getting the res on the Chrono Shift. And in comes Sneaky. Killer Instinct is there. They're trying to realm warp out of this party. And Sneaky, at Zazel being present, causes CLG to back off.
That was roll call right there. Everybody showing up to class like, oh, I'm here, don't worry about it. And like everybody getting in right on time. That was Sneaky coming in to kind of clean that one up because it looked like it was going to go the way of CLG, but Zazel getting the ultimate, having them apply marks, and allowing the plasma to go off. But Blabber walks over Vision. Huhi plays forward, and then gets chunked so hard there. The red smite comes down to save himself, the ultimate on top of it, and then Jensen's ultimate as Blabber gets booted out. The typical kind of Gragas counterpick is what you see there. And then, yeah, that was, Zazel went in with W and Flash, and he got taunted. And so he wanted to actually use the ultimate to interrupt, and he actually couldn't get it off in time. He only gets it off after the taunt.
Whoa.
Whoa!
Super Flash. Very nicely done. Taunt Flash and dodge from Sneaky. Both really trying to put the high caliber play into action there.
Well, the fun one is when somebody taunts and then doesn't flash, and then play the mind game and get your flash for free. But that's kind of why I like that, and that was impressive, because Sneaky read this is the one where he's flashing on him.
Storm Razor Blade finished on that bot side. Rod to staff finished for Huhi, and Jensen in the mid. Still waiting for that core item on the top, where we've had a lot of action from these two. See how much money they're actually sitting on. About 1,500 each, which is good. So just waiting to back once they get the chance.
So junglers will probably want to play around that area because it means that the top laners are relatively weak in comparison. Like, that's something that a lot of people don't consider is when you go to gank a lane that hasn't purchased yet and they're sitting on a lot of gold, like, they really want to back, that's the time to gank it because you as a jungler are going to be stronger than that top laner. So even if you want to just exert yourself or overexert yourself, you're going to be able to be very effective there. And you can see Licorice popping the ultimate, Darshan, yeah, Spidey sense is tingling, and in fact the wards are going to help him too.
Whoa, going pretty hard on this one. Looks like Rainover will deter them from any farther of a gank. Teleport in from double lift very quick.
That's
sorry,
Zazel.
Zazel, you're right. So many teleports now, good lord. I looked down and I thought I saw a double lift come up. He's in mid. Turret will go down as Zazel tanks so they can start it off early. And a 15 minutes in, top turret's going to fall, and first turret of the game for Cloud9.
Yeah, it's something that some supports have been doing where you take teleport because it got nerfed to have a 6-minute cooldown.
Right.
You take teleport, and then you take Summoner Spellbook. So by the time that
Switch it up.
it's back up, you've already used all these extra summoners from the Summoner Spellbook. So you kind of just flip through those pages and you're waiting for TP to come up. And you're like, oh, exhaust, heal, ignite. All right, we got all this stuff going, boom,
Heal.
and then you're back to your TP.
Now he's on to heal. Simple as that. Ocean Drake now going to be traded over. Cloud9 with an Ocean. CLG will secure their own. Kuhi starts to make a bit of a lead in the mid lane. Gets good pressure onto the Dragon for his team. Pushing in, Jensen's going to stop him now from getting around with Brazilian speed, and Kuhi might be able to start a bit of that roam.
Clear!
Heck yeah.
I guess that's how the on-hit Kennen uses the ulti.
It is super interesting to see, but
it's funny because yesterday I was casting with Flowers and he saw, oh, hold on. Okay, I was casting with Flowers and the Lorlo's Kennen like E'd the wave and then was about to W it, and Flowers like put up finger guns like, bam, it's gonna be a great wave clear. And I did like half the damage to the wave and he was like really disappointed. And I could see it on his face. He was shocked. He was like, wait, it didn't clear the wave? Like, yeah, that's AD Kennen. It does nothing to the wave. You have to have, like, Runan's Hurricane or I mean, Static Shiv would be funny because you have lightning on your lightning, but it is like really bad at actually getting priority. You have to be kind of a 1v1 bot. He's losing it by 20 CS. He's the only lane in this composition that's actually losing in CS because Darshan got camped, and you have to play aggressive, and then your jungler has to be able to kind of make sure that you're safe. But hold on, Reignover. They found Sneaky in the jungle.
Oh, the flash hit again. Sneaky getting himself that speed steroid. Just dodges to safety as Stixxay enters the fray. That Rift Herald was grabbed on the top side, and Licorice and Blabber now about to have some fun as they creep out of the fog of war. Darshan flashes up, lightning rushes there. He now has vision of them off the ward, and he says, I'm going to your base this time. Teleports up, and he might try to use that to get out of this.
Yeah, there's no CC out of those guys, so he's actually TPing to the bottom side, and they're going to four-man push bot.
The cavalry has arrived.
TP
coming in Jensen in the mid lane. He will get there in time. You actually have to be pretty considerate about what a Kennen and the rest of this team can bring for damage on the turret. Pretty good attack speed already on that champion, and now he's building AD, so they should be able to get through him quite fast.
Yeah, and you got to watch because the Mundo, if he's left unattended in the top side, then he's going to be able to get that. Kuhi, dun-dun, Blabber, dun-dun.
Nope, he's surfaced.
Yeah, well, Blabber now has 4 stacks off of getting that last camp there, so he's got that extra range at 18 minutes. That's 18 minutes is around the point that I've said before where that's where if I don't have 4 stacks by 18 minutes, then I consider it like a game where I'm slightly behind. If an even game or a game where I'm doing well, I should have it at around 18 minutes. Not
what's really good.
Really good is if you can get it at like 12. That's if you've got like really good ganks off and the marks are hitting just right. You typically in solo queue will be able to get more scuttle crabs early.
Right.
So you should be able to get it by like 12, 15 minutes in a good game.
Heading over. 4 for him, so he's got 75 extra range. It's getting quiet in the brush.
Right now, though, even in gold, and this comes down to kind of figuring out what you can do with Darshan on the map, but who he's actually about to get ganked. Licorice is behind him, and then Blabber's in front. They aren't expecting the Mundo.
Realm Warp instantly puts himself towards the top side.
It's a short one, but
yes, quick Realm Warp out. Reignover can body slam over the wall as they're just kind of taunting and peppering CLG with abilities here. All about that pink ward vision control as the Baron comes up, and who can protect it on the top side.
Yeah, Licorice has to back, go down bottom. Darshan is actually shoving this wave out so he can go do something on the map because he doesn't have teleport. So him being on the bottom side is actually really bad for CLG. He needs to be closer to fights or closer to a split push objective because he's not actually threatening 2 things at once. He can only threaten 1 thing at once. And top laners typically want to be able to threaten 2, the objective that you're pushing towards, and the team fight that you're going to TP to. You can only do 1 of those at a time right now.
We're looking at Licorice's build to start things off, saying, would it be magic resist? Would it just be armor? Just armor for him for now.
Yep.
He'll put the magic resist in later if he needs it. Stopwatch is so pivotal with the ultimate, complementary to that health gain. It's really all you need right now, and nothing's going to take you down from 100 to 0. Looking now at this game for Counter Logic, at the loss streak that they have, this is usually in the middle of the season if a CLG does find themselves in a slump. They start to repair it at that kind of 3/4 mark, find themselves in the playoff point as they move towards the end of the split. Here, slumping much later, and they even say it takes time to repair that slump from seasons past. It could be difficult coming into the back half of the season now that we're almost to week 8 with that slump still happening.
Yeah, but the big thing that I want to talk about here is the fact that we have CLG missing playoffs last split for the first time ever in the history of the organization. And now this one, they're in 8th place. Granted, they're 1 game behind 6th, and could boost themselves up here. But like you said, the kind of trough that CLG goes through in their splits, sometimes it happens early and they figure things out. Like last split, it actually went a little too long, and then at the end, people were like, "Oh, they should be in playoffs. Look at how good they're playing."
Too much faith too early.
Right? Yeah, that's you start believing too. Jack, damn it, Jack. As soon as he starts believing,
everything turns around.
But Hui, I actually like this from him. He's got a Spellbinder. So increases his movement speed, makes it so that when you cast spells, you'll get that extra AP. Interesting item for the Ryze in particular, but I feel like now they're just playing Speed Racer. You have this Zillion that's running around really fast with his abilities, and then you also have Hui's going to try to speed up and catch people. He also has Phase Rush to make sure that he can chase people down and kite. You also have to kite the Mundo later in the game too. But Infernal Drake on the table. No TP for Darshan. The setup is here. I feel like this is actually favorable for C9. They'll trade, I believe, this Infernal Drake for the top turret would be kind of what they're saying we'll give up for it.
Should be able to happen. Darshan staying focused. You can see he actually just used the minion, or his slicing Maelstrom again to clear a minion wave on the top right of his icon. So quick clears for him as he gets through, and a little bit more gold on the map. Rainover is going to be a ward wall on the way through as well for a little bit of protection here, as they also have Hui pushing mid. A good chance to get more pressure onto Cloud9 as they're trying to take a breather.
Yeah. Push that top wave, clear out that jungle, and then push this mid wave. 6A is going to be able to pick up. Nice dodge there.
Little sidestep.
But that's going to put CLG at 4 turrets to 2. Granted, they don't have the Infernal Drake, but it's a price they're willing to pay for that map pressure, because now they get to shove waves up quite far.
The return's always interesting, right? Because we say that play, and then sometimes you see C9 coming out, and you're like, wait, that means Baron. Like, they've stayed out too long. So that play continuously, it's like, it never ends until everybody really slows down. Here, it's only kind of causing a bit more vision, but that's going to be tough for CLG to get back in and protect and place their own again.
Yeah, they have to kind of shove the waves, make sure they don't get caught, because C9 are looking for ganks, see Rainover, and place vision. This is actually a very difficult point in the game to kind of figure out what you want to do as a team, because your split pusher in Darshan is not really winning 1v1s right now, and for C9 you still need to answer Kennen, because if you just leave him alone he's going to take turrets, but you want to threaten Baron, and so there's all these things that need to be considered right now, and it basically comes down to vision control and picking. And I like that Rainover, it's actually an interesting build. It's very aggressive. It's AP focused here. Got the Zhonya's Hourglass as his second item, making sure that he can go in, maybe go body slam flash, set up his team with a play, and then Zhonya's and buy time and delay. There's so much consistent damage on Cloud9's side. The Kaisa and the Kindred both do so much to tanks.
And it moves so quick, it's hard to lock down as well.
Yeah.
Very slippery.
Like right here, Blabber, if he like Qs forward and gets that last attack, it would take Rainover below half before he can really answer onto Blabber.
Makes it tough. Slowly pushing into mid, but not able to move the wards too far forward. The thing they're happy with is the fact that the wards are just staying past river. Those are the ones that they can protect, and now they create a security system here in the side of CLG's jungle that anybody could fight for C9. Yeah, easy hold for Licorice on that bot side. 251 to 235, but remember, Darshan could teleport over if possible. Just how much effect does that 80 kind of bring to the fight, we keep saying?
It doesn't have much, and he's also got 1,400 gold. He wants his Rage Blade so you can just get your passive stack very quickly, because that's got an AD ratio on it that you really want to have multiplied, and have all that attack speed, because the Rage Blade, when it fully stacks, it's like a, I want to say it's an 80-ish or a 78 percent attack speed increase, 25%, and then 8 times 6. So 48% plus the 25% will get you to 73. So yeah, it's a 73% attack speed item when it's fully stacked up on the Ginsu's Rage Blade. So you really want that as the Kennen before you have these team fights. I think he has it now, and that's why he's backing.
Yeah, the effect that'll have of pushing the wave calls much more respect from Licorice too. He'll always have to be there, not just to kind of say, hey, I can 1v1 you.
Well, it's also
1,700 gold for him.
It's also fun because, you know, the passive, the W gives you a stack of your stun, and so you just keep throwing out these shurikens very, very quickly, and you just rotate stuns on them, basically, which is auto attack. Hold on, Rainover. He's in range. They're going to see him. Are they going to risk this?
Double TP in. It's down to 3,000. Rainover can
game.
body slam over. This has to happen.
There it is.
Want to get it. Lamb's spike goes down. He's forced to flash out as he could go down before the Baron hits. Barrels go in, and it's going to be Blabbers. Cloud9 looking good to start the fight as Licorice is low with the ultimate on. Biofrost wants to taunt in, and he puts down the Spirit of Refuge to get out. I thought he was going to go over for a crazy hit. The ultimate's been used for him. As you can see, it's already down, and Cloud9 are now Baron strong.
Blabber has been so impressive. Dokla even said, yo, Blabber's gonna 1v9. I don't think it's that extreme right now, but he just mind-gamed Rainover so hard. He's like, we're gonna do this in broad daylight. We know that you can see this. It's not a 50-50. He throws down the ultimate when it's about 900 HP, and then Rainover smites it. So Rainover no longer has the smite. He has to flash out. And Jensen, whoa, I was like, pass to himself with the ball.
So much action. One barrel. Nailing Stixay. Have to be very careful what the follow-up is here as C9 is hot on their heels. Top lane is going to be Licorice and Huki as mid. Pushed by Sneaky. They always have something in mind, even if they're giving CLG something to think about. Great job by C9 to kind of move off the ball and keep everything going.
Now, that's how they crack the game open. He's still even in gold right now, but they have to be able to push this up, use this Baron buffed up waves, and it's going to be stopping it, but this is your Acer Predator replay.
Baby.
Acer Predator 200 IQ replay right here. Rainover goes in. He already smites it because he has to throw it down when he sees it potentially in range. But Blabber calls it, says, nope, we're going to save the Baron. And then even though he pours one out there with the ultimate, because it is an AP Gragas, remember, it's going to do more damage than you would expect. It's still a smite from Blabber at about 580. So well played there. I thought he might play the mind games, and he does, and Rainover takes the bait.
Good try from CLG. And they now have to defend against a quite strong Cloud9. That was really the breaking point of what's been happening here. We just saw CLG kind of activate their own fight just before the Baron.
If they're able to wave clear, though, I don't think it's that bad, because pushing this bottom wave up, you may get that outer tier 1 turret, you may get that inner tier 2 in the mid lane, but right now, it's like the game is still in a quote-unquote almost stalemate position, because Darshan just shoves waves incredibly far up, and then there really isn't like a clean team fight to get here, and there's only a minute left on this Baron. It got C9 like back to even and a little bit ahead, but if they'll get this bottom tier 1 off the rotation, and they'll get the Drake, and it's going to manifest as maybe a 2,000 gold lead when everything's all said and done. They're going to have to push for this next turret and try to get a little bit more here. But this is definitely on the weaker side of Baron power plays, because it wasn't really a fight where anybody died off of it. You had these respawn timers.
They have to work for this one. Looks like CLG will give them a respect on the outer turret.
All right,
but the base turret will be definitely much harder to take. Funneling onto the stairs. He steps out.
Oh, Blabber went in.
Blabber a little too far forward. He has his flash to get out if it's going to be crazy after Lamb's respite. In goes Zazel. The fight on the other side of the map. Licorice and Darshan going head-to-head as Rainover. Not feeling good about this one. There goes Darshan. Rainover's on the stopwatch as Biofrost cannot help. They've already dropped Huki, and Cloud9 pull the trigger when CLG don't even think it could happen. But that's when the unthinkable comes through for C9. 30 minutes in, 7-4. They've pushed that 600 gold lead now to 7,000 in a matter of minutes. And that's going to crush down under the base of CLG. C9 push themselves ahead to 7-7 on the summer split and take down Counterlogic Gaming.
How is that for looking like a motivated team? They went from 2-6 as their record in the first 8 games, and their next 6 games, they are 5-1 since bringing in Blabber. This guy has done wonders for the team in that neutral state of the game. The Baron mind game over Rainover cracked it open. And then right there at the end, the combination with Jensen going in and just making sure that they're able to close the game. That was super aggressive, and one with only a 1,000 gold lead off the Baron. Something you wouldn't see teams typically do. That was an aggressive, that was a fast play from Cloud9 to end the game.
I love compositions like this. It brings together all the things that League kind of puts into the game and lets the players utilize them to the highest caliber. Being able to res somebody, your speed steroids. It was almost everybody on that team that had one of those, or a gap closer, and then a little bit of defense in Zazel with the shield, who's there to be the big guy tank along with Licorice. But how do you take that composition down even from behind? They move so fast, they res each other. The fights are longer than usual. You have to think differently, and it's cool that Cloud9 has brought that out. It appears CLG wasn't ready again coming into this week. Another 0-2 for them as we get closer towards the end of the split.
Yeah, and that means that CLG will move to 5-9 as their record with 4 left to play. That means that the best record they could possibly have is a flat 500, and if they could finish the season 9-9, CLG fans would be happy, but it's not something that, you know, in the grand scheme of CLG, that the organization would be happy about.
I'm sure the faith is still there from the fans as they have those wins to pick up. To hear about that victory, however, let's set it over to Avali and Licorice.
Thanks, guys. 4 wins in a row and evening up the score for Cloud9. How important was the win for you?
I mean, every win just seems to matter so much right now, just with the standings the way they are. And I mean, first we wanted to make playoffs, and if we can keep it going, we can contend for like first, second, I think, this split.
And I heard there was a little bit of backstage beef between you and someone on CLG about top rankings. Where would you rank yourself in today's current LCS?
Well, I think my laning is good, but I think it really is just a team game right now. So I think after this match, we're in 5th place, possibly. So I'd say I'm the 5th place top laner.
And you guys are coming into the last 2 weeks of the split. What final touches are you looking to put on the team?
I think just like keep the consistency going, make sure we like have all the picks figured out when the new patches come out, and just like stay ahead of the meta and ahead of everyone else too.
Well, Licorice, thank you and congratulations again. Back to the desk.
Thank you very much, Avli. Cloud9, 4-0 win streak here, moving to 500, record 7-7. I mean, we talked about how this team needed to turn it on, and that's exactly what they're doing. We get the Zilean pick in the mid lane again. No Nocturne for Blabber this time around, but a Kindred instead. So again, all of these kind of safety spells that C9 keeps lunging at in terms of boosting their teamfight potential.
Yeah, it plays very different when you don't have the Nocturne, you have the Kindred instead, but it's a lot of the same ideas. You don't have the Tahm Kench, but Braum's still pretty tanky. Kindred brings another tool to keep people alive. The Zilean can do it as well, and they have the Mundo both games to be just a very hard to kill top laner, and they make these such, like, just annoying team comps to fight.
Yeah, I think they are very good at Zilean. And that's both a word to Jensen and also a word to the rest of the team. Like, there was never a time where I felt like they improperly layered Kindred and Zilean Ultimate. And that is extremely hard to do well in a pro game, no less. So hats off to C9 for pulling that out again.
If we isolate the lane matchups, though, we do have that AD Kennen picked as a counter to Licorice's Mundo in the top lane. And so, you know, Counterlogic Gaming being one of those teams that we've seen attempt to execute split push 1-3-1 and such, not to such success. Draft towards that again, C9 decides to throw all their attention to the top lane early.
And you can maybe argue that it's more important for Reignover to be working to support his winning topside matchup and not let this kind of stuff happen, because Blabber has a good gank here, and the Kennen wants to push to really play this matchup correctly, and both times that he's pushed up, Blabber goes up there and is going to be able to find these kills. There was also another gank that didn't actually even get close to happening, where Blabber was ready to go, and it forced Darshan back. And it was just 3-4 times that Blabber denied Kennen from doing what he wanted to, and Reignover never helped top.
Yeah, I really think that Blabber and Licorice played around it in a great way in the early game. But even with that, a lot of the late game scenarios still had the Kennen with lane priority over Mundo and made it difficult for Mundo to come in. And it's dark times for CLG because they've lost 6 games in a row. But I actually really liked what they tried to do this game. Way back when they were successful, they did split push 1-3-1. It's technically what Huhi and Darshan should be good at. I think the Kennen can be good into Mundo, and if anything like goes differently lane, he might take over the game. Even in the current situation, I can blame other things. I think the AD Kennen pick was good. I like COG's strategy, but C9 outplayed them, and I think that's kind of the bigger issue.
Maybe. I think it's hard to say what's going on with CLG because there's probably some behind-the-scenes stuff that we're not privy to.
6 losses in a row after being tied for first place.
Yeah, that's indicates to a larger issue, but if you look at a lot of their wins, they're mostly playing team fight team comps, you know, where they have Ornn, drafted a ton. They're playing Orianna. They have Yasuo, Ornn, Talia. Like, they have a lot of team fight. And these last couple of games have been a lot about split push. Both times trying to set up 1-3-1s with rises. And maybe that was working in scrims, and so it's a little hard for us on the outside not to know. But it does feel like CLG for a long time, as much as they have great split push players, play their best when they're actually just coordinating on team fight engagements.
Tough situation, though, when you let that blind pick Mundo go through. The GP and the NAR bans are on the table. And those would have been two of the better,
potentially,
team
and that's
fight
why those
answers.
bans go through, and then they eventually pick Mundo. But
Right.
I mean, team fight or not, CLG's not winning with much of anything. We've been going back to spring splits, so they've seen other teams succeed with split push, which is called dead by a lot of teams. So they're still technically alive. They should go for more split.
But I think it's important that you called out the idea that in this game there was outplay, right?
Yeah.
That it wasn't entirely, oh, hey, CLG. There was outplay. It was a very close game, and I'm going to pull up one outplay in particular, this one around the Baron that C9 secured. Walk me through it.
This was godlike. So normally when someone goes to steal a Baron, they smite right away, and that's what Reignover does. That's why Kindred Ultimate was placed during the body slam. Then Reignover has no choice but to retreat because he doesn't have smite. So that's how Blabber secured the Baron. Just amazing use of the Kindred Ultimate right there.
Yeah, I mean, milliseconds of differential between that smite as you see it dropping out of the air and the Kindred ult being placed to prevent it.
It was pretty much in smite range.
It was close.
The smite plus the Q that Reignover had thrown on the Baron pit, that's another thing that kind of keyed Blabber that he was going to be coming in. They had a ward on him. C9 technically didn't know that Reignover had perfect vision because there was a weird control ward and a ward really in the back of the pit that gave CLG vision. But in that situation...
But that goal graph speaks to the closest of the game, Jack, and the fact that they had to outplay, that it wasn't...
And the cannon was working. The Baron was perfectly done by Blabber, and the next fight just ended the game.
Even in that Baron replay, on the bottom part of your screen, just out of frame, was Mundo zoning the entire rest of the team. Because the other concern would be, all right, you're stalling out the Baron, but then Kennen comes flying in, the Ryze is in there, the Varus is in there, and instead there's just this Mundo brick walling the rest of the team from getting in follow-up. And so just really clean Baron execution overall by the team, and then, they ended the fight, or the game, like a minute and a half later.
So how about this Cloud9 team? 4-0, they're looking good, 7-7 now. What is our feeling of the potential of this team now that they've settled on a roster?
Call final record.
I'm really happy because when they were 1-5, I bet Azale that they would make playoffs.
Okay.
It's looking really good right now.
Final record,
That's
what are
the
they
way
going?
I jinxed
7-7 with 4 games to go.
Golden Guardians, Liquid, 100 Thieves, FlyQuest. They will win
9
games.
So they're gonna go 9.
So they go 9-9. They win 2, lose 2. I'm assuming you call wins over Golden Guardians and FlyQuest losing to Liquid. And
that would be the odds. Although 10 is, it might actually be more likely at this point.
I think they could beat 100 Thieves.
10-8. 10-8.
All right, Mark, what's your
taking
call
the
on that?
9-9. I
You're staying with
I
9-9.
almost bought into it, and I was like,
You were about to dive into it.
One of us said it. I didn't need to now.
I mean, either way, C9 is making things interesting as this team was in last place not so long ago, and here they are in playoff contention. We're stepping away when we return. Freak, Wild Turtle, and JJ will be bringing you Echo Fox versus TSM from the LCS Lounge on Riot Games 2. You won't want to miss it.
Quick sidestep, it's hit. One more auto attack, and he is dead to right. The lane in the bot side is now the focus of a fight.
Darshan's gonna flash right there. Are they gonna dive?
Looking for the stun. No stopwatch this early. AD Cannon. Blabber gets out. He has his flash to get out if it's going to be crazy after Lamb's respite. In goes Zazel. The fight on the other side of the map. Licorice and Darshan going head-to-head as Reignover. Not feeling good about this one.
No way, not my fault.
Can I get a Psycho Fish, please?
What? I don't know what this Blabber guy's doing. I don't know.
The sub above difference is daily, not shredded last night or baked yesterday afternoon. Good ingredients, prepped fresh every day. Because that's what daily means. Jersey Mites. Be a sub above.